ruled that Monsanto doesn't have to put a warning label on Roundup to let customers know that the damn chemical will kill them. It will cause cancer. It will cause all kinds of diseases. This is a big win for Monsanto, and it represents a massive threat to American consumers. Now, this judge takes virtually one study. Okay, now, full disclosure, I'm handling the cases against Monsanto. I know the inside of this. The WHO came out and said, yeah, this is a totally independent organization, made up, they had 17 of the best epidemiologists and toxicologists in the world look at all of Monsanto's stuff and say, yeah, this stuff probably causes cancer. Now, when that happened, you had Monsanto bring in all of their political muscle. They brought in senators. They brought in congressmen. They brought in the White House. They brought in everybody to push back, especially the EPA and the FDA and the USDA. They were able to capture those organizations, pressure and push back on the WHO, the World Health Organization, saying that this stuff will cause cancer. Now, along comes another thing, that's another study. It's no different. They called it a long-term study, and we looked at farmers. There are 800 studies out here, 800 studies that are all a mixed bag of one says it'll cause cancer, another one says it'll cause it'll actually destroy cells in the human body and actually alter DNA. They have all kinds of material out there, but this judge takes it on himself to say, oh, gee, but this one study, I'm going to say that California, who did the right thing, they had a Proposition 65. Right. They said, we need to be able to warn people about this stuff causing cancer. And this guy says, nah, there's no need to warn.
That
because
to me
of
is
this
what's
study.
Scariest about this
terrifying.
Is that now a federal judge is going to override a state agency whose interest is protecting consumers. And thank the Lord for California, because they're usually out in front on these types of issues about disclosure, protecting the consumers. And a federal judge is going to say, you know what? I know more than you do, state agency. Yeah. All the scientists, all the study you've done. I'll tell you what, while I'm sitting up on the bench, I'm going to go ahead and override the warning. I mean, if a state agency says I want to warn my residents about a carcinogen, I mean,
okay, yeah,
so
exactly.
Monsanto says, look, my business interest overrides disclosure.
Yeah, here's what the judge absolutely had to just drive a bulldozer and just absolute decimate this concept. In medicine and the law, there's something called precautionary measure. And that is, you don't wait until you have 100% where everybody in the world says, yeah, Monsanto's Roundup will cause cancer. I got to tell you something, it will cause cancer. It will cause cancer. And the study, this last study that came out that says it doesn't, we haven't even started to look. Who did they have doing the report? This is a company that has a history of study after study where we find out that they actually pay the scientists to write the study. The study is made up. It's just a fake study. We haven't even had a chance to look at this one and this judge's ruling before there's been any discovery to find out how fraudulent the study probably is. But I'll be taking depositions. I'll tell you, by the time it's over, we're going to know the company had people involved pushing the politics of the study. Right. There's probably going to be some clinical data that doesn't all add up. And then we're going to be back to square one. The World Health Organization.
The biostitutes.
Biostitutes,
there you go. I love Monsanto's argument, just how ridiculous it is. Man, we hear this every day. Monsanto argued the cancer warning would damage Roundup's reputation. I mean, really? So we're going to weigh this out. Cancer-causing carcinogen, warn our consumers versus worrying about Monsanto and Roundup and their business reputation. The business reputation wins out? I'd like to know.
This stuff has become so ubiquitous. Roundup, glyphosate has become, and all the components. It's not just glyphosate. It's all the other bad stuff.
What is glyphosate? What is it?
It's just there. It is Monsanto's form of a pesticide. You know, that's all it is. It's chemically. It's not pure. It's got all type of other components that are just. But here's the point. So now we have a company that has put out so much of the stuff that we find it in our wheat, in our bread, in our cereal, in our drinking water. And so they kind of have.
Spray it from planes.
They spray it from planes, from neighborhoods.
I mean, how can it not be?
Okay, you know the real ugly part of this story. We got a couple minutes. This is so worth saying. Doesn't this sound like this is something that's driven by Republicans?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's not. It's driven in part by Republicans, but it's also driven just as much by Democrats. The Hillary Clinton story ties right into this. Mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton was the and Obama was the spokesperson for GMO and Monsanto. Mm-hmm. Here's the point about GMO. The reason they wanted GMO out there was because the GMO seed you had to use Roundup on that seed. So the farmer
genetically modified
exactly.
Seed, yeah.
So the farmer had to buy the seed, and they had to pay for the seed every year. Otherwise, they were called seed pirates, and they were prosecuted by Monsanto. So in order to have the seed in the ground, they then had to have the Roundup. And so the two together made this company billions of dollars. And look at where the money went. I take some time sometime. Look at where the political donations went on this. The biggest voice for this company were the Clintons. And they understood the same problem that the rest of the world. You can't even sell this in places around the world. They won't even permit it around the world. But we can in the United States because of the political conduct. We got about a minute. We got 50. What's your take on it?
Let me ask you something. Where's Monsanto based out of?
St. Louis.
That's what I thought. So I mean, when you got at the end of the day, when you see these heartland, it doesn't matter Republican, Democrat,
No.
these huge conglomerates that are based out of and drive the farming side, it quite frankly just permeates everything we put on our table every night. At the end of the day, everything we eat, I don't care if it's cattle, it's chickens,
it's in granola.
It's all
this
Purdue,
stuff is in granola
it's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere.
It's actually in granola bars. But the point is this, they have so much political clout that they're able to buy scientists, they're able to buy agencies like the EPA. They have totally bought the EPA. And so this is a story that's going to continue. Unfortunately, people are continue dying from this product.